question. I guess I've always seen it as a spot.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, is this, the idea of the spot, when you get in the spot, is this?
Yeah. In the stability, the whole idea of coming to God, or all there is, the entire idea, you must lose it and me. That is the key. See, what you are describing is an interpretation by body-mind of an experience, which is not an accurate, So, you're explaining movement, but what the movement it really is the touching of the higher vibrational frequency, of the shorter ranged vibrational frequencies. The shorter ranged vibrational frequencies are God. And in the vastness of godliness is all things. Everything is there, so you're never alone. In order to never be alone, you have to be totally alone, if that makes any sense. So, that's what you're experiencing. So the idea now is to let go and allow the drop to merge with the ocean. You will always be you, but you'll be different. You will see things absolutely differently, but you will be you. There's no doubt about that.
I don't want to call it resistance, because it is and it's not.
Yeah.
Is that still that holding on to that?
Yeah. Yeah, the resistance is still an identification with the personal I. Okay, whereas you want to come to the point where I is just a matter of speech, to differentiate this one from that one.
I saw
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of speaking. But you'll get it. And see, a lot of this stuff is just, all of it is just making effort. But you gain wisdom from effort, because you learn. You never learn what it is, but you learn all these things that it's not. That's what wisdom is. You can tell people, well, no, that's not it. No, that's not it either. They say you're a very wise man, but yeah, that's all it is. Been there, done that. That ain't it. So it's just a matter of finding where that thing is, finding where that spot is, where you begin to associate with it rather than with I and it, or me and it. Then I don't want to say you merge, because it is not merging. It's always been. It seems to merge, but it's always been you. So it's a very elusive, I suppose, thing to do. One of the things you'll find, if you do rotations, it's like in lifting weights. I have a routine. And that routine is to do strength set, quickness set, endurance set. All right, so you do this, right? You do this for a period of time, but only until the body gets smart. All right? Then what you do is you go back to your other list. And the body says, what happened? Okay. And you hit it with something else, and the body says, well, we don't know what you're going to do, so we better pull in some more fibers here. Let's pull in some more, and let's make this thing stronger, because he's subject to do anything. We don't know what he's going to do. And then when you come back to what you're doing, it says, oh boy, we're so glad to be here, and it just lifts this stuff. And you just fit right into this slot of progression. Well, that's what happens with this. And see, I'm giving you that example because I don't know how twisted your mind is. I only know how twisted mine is. So I don't know exactly what you're going to do, what your little quirks are. So you have to try it, and then you come back and you'll try something else for a while, but always with the idea of coming back to that technique at a certain time. And then you see it differently, and you see something else differently, and you may slide into that space. It works kind of like that. And that is the reason why you need perseverance and you need discipline. Because if you get down on yourself because it's not working, you'll quit. But what you need to know is that this is a part of the process. All of a sudden you find, oh, wow, okay. Why didn't I see that before? Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. Except you, once you get past and you say, oh, that's what was blocking me. You understand that the room is defined by the walls, what you do with the space. But the space is what you're interested in, all right? So silence is defined by speech, all right? Because speech defines the area of silence, okay? And the area of silence is defined by the speech, both sides. Ultimately, then you have to say, why is it I say all the things that I say? And then you begin to look at, wow, am I trying to be accepted? That I say all these cute little things to strangers. We get in groups and people want to be nice and cheery in groups, and meetings are one of those places where people come together and they throw out little quips and everybody's real witty and stuff. It's just noise. See, you begin to wonder, oh, I see. It's absolutely unnecessary to do this. All I'm trying to be is accepted. I don't need to be accepted. I need to be here. Because when I start to try and be accepted, I'm trying to control and manipulate someone outside of myself that I can never control, that I can never manipulate. Because they are always going to think what they think about me. Because they are opinionated. And that's the way that goes. So you begin to use your speech and your silence differently. See, that's important in there too. There are other things that you want to learn other than just the base of it. What does that mean? When I'm silent, what is it that keeps trying to speak inside of me? And if I am involved with this gross vibration, which is in itself thought, how then can I arrive at the finer vibrations? that I can never hear or understand, but I can only be. I can only be the finer ones. So, at that level, thought is gross. And I don't mean gross as in ew. I mean gross as in massive, earth-holding, weight, great mass. So these are questions that also must come to be answered, and must come to be answered by observation. The I Ching, probably the oldest book, one of the oldest books known to man. Well, we will say the Gutenberg Bible, but that's only the Westerners who would say, Western Christians would say that. So it's the I Ching. The I Ching, and what it originally came from, was an observation of the laws of nature. And are written in this manner. For instance, lake is yin, yang, yin. A broken line, an unbroken line, a broken line. But that is also body. Flesh is yin, bone is yang, flesh is yin. So it describes the forces. It is a representation of things. All right? This is the observation we come to about all things and how they interact together. This is how the secrets are made known to us, through graphics, not through words, but graphics. You can say word is a graphic, but we're talking differently than words. Here we're talking something else. Get the I Ching and look at it. It'll tell you pretty much what you need to know. A comet in space has a tail. That tail always goes away from the sun. A meteorite coming into the atmosphere has a tail, because it catches fire and the tail extends away from the movement of the meteorite. How is it that a comet in space has a tail? There is no wind. There's no air in space. Yeah. But it is not a wind as such, is it?
It's the gravitational,
Well, if it's the gravitational field, the tail would go toward the sun, wouldn't it? It's the plasma. It's the finer vibration that is moving away that creates a, quote, solar wind. The plasma, the ions, all this stuff that you look at space and say, well, there's nothing there. But those finer vibrations carry messages, and you must be able to hear them, because they do affect you. They do affect you, just as thought affects you. The idea then is to change your vibrational frequency, because your frequency has become attuned to the grossness of thought, the longer vibrational frequency. Of course, it's not as long as that of a planet. Okay? The red are huge frequencies. But you're going now into the higher ones that can't even register. They are there. In the ancients, the sun is a representation of God. It's a physical representation because it does certain things that are godly. We say superstition. For some, yes. For others, no. For others, science. But in order to do that, you must understand thinking and silence. Must truly begin to understand that. In the silence is where you will hear things that you've never heard before, or that you've heard before but never really paid much attention to. Kind of static in the background because you had this important ego stuff to do. Or whatever all that real important stuff was, you know. I've got to think about things here. So you kind of heard it as static in the background. But you want to flesh it out more and more and more. To be discriminating, to choose what your path is, but yet not hold any other person's path against them. It's the acceptance of all things. You can do as you wish, and I will not hold it against you. I just happen not to want to go there. That's okay. Go. But I have chosen this path of study to understand who I am and my, quote, place in this whole thing. Or not to understand who I am, but to understand truly that I am. And my force. Where does my force fit in this whole thing? So, if you are not doing that, then I am discriminating. I am discriminating in that I will say, good morning. How are you? It's very nice to see you. I must go now. You have a good day. I'm not rude, but I am certainly discriminating in that I have chosen a way of life. It's not real complicated. Whoop-de-doo. You wanted to ask something. You wanted to ask something. Yes, it is true. Not that we just come here, but that we take what we do and we learn. We go through our experiences as individuals with that law. But what we all arrive at is the same thing. It's just that you are crazy in a different way than I'm crazy. And he's crazy in a different way than both of us, and he's crazier than you see. We all are insane in our own insane way, and that's personal. But the law is not personal. The truth is not. So one of the things that we learn to do is to stay out of each other in certain ways. We learn to live together, though we are differently crazy. And that's the whole trick. That's the trick of the whole world. We have to learn to live together and be crazy in our different ways, but come together on those points where we need to come together, where we need to do things for the betterment of the whole.
That's the unification.
That's the unification.
Okay, well, so there's all this, this stuff going on, but and then there's still some work to be done.
The idea that that is incomprehensible gives you the clue that you just accept it. You just say, okay, it's incomprehensible. You cannot comprehend it. See, that gives you the frustration of trying to comprehend totally what that means, and finally you just say, well, I accept that it's both of this. Well, I give. And then there's the great silence. But you find out that the answer is both and neither, and there's nothing you can say. So it is that point where it drives you to stop defining. And then the male and the female have unified. And it just is. That's it. Alan.
Two parts to one statement. I'm working on many times during the night. Not remembering much about who I am.
Because the bent of the society is toward the negative things, and we have been conditioned that we need to know about the negative. We don't need to know about the positive. So that whole thing in the society, see, there's a societal consciousness. And I keep talking about this. It's affecting you so that you see, oh my God, the negatives about them.
So is that me or them? Is it them
It's
out that's obvious to see, or is it me that...
It's a part of your connection to the collective consciousness, to the collective American consciousness. So you have to get through not only your own personal stuff, but then you find out as you're going through, you have to get through the collective consciousness of the society. You have to get that stuff off of you too. And that's one indication that it's there. So it's you, really. But it's us.
I thought it was because I needed to see this.
Well, I think the importance is in why do you see that? See, that's what I'm saying. The why is that other stuff, that collective consciousness, a collective consciousness attitude that you've also been imbibed with. So you want to get rid of that.
So it's not a plus to see it?
It's a plus to see it, but I think you should be able to see both sides for you, not for them, but for you. Because you see. All right. It's interesting that people are beginning to see things kind of differently. You know, Carol was seeing some stuff the other night between my fingers, like, what is that solid between your fingers? And I was sitting there, and I was pulling this stuff between my fingers, okay? You know. I'm just sitting there like that, doing like this, you know, pulling this stuff. What is that between your fingers? So you all are beginning to see things according to you and according to the guide's lines within your own head. Okay, so you want to expand that so that you see everything about them, if you so desire. But then later you'll cut that off. You won't even.
I guess I'm mistaken that that's going to help me with everything else.
It'll help you with your work. Yeah. But anything else?
Dream work and everything else as far as
Oh.
see things.
That's a part of what's happening in your dream work now. That's why you're opening up to this stuff, and that's why you're tired when you wake up.
Right.
Yeah, that's a part of your dream work now. That dream work is unlocking these things. And see, it's always there. It's always there in everyone. It's just that the dream work has to unlock it. And that's what's happening. You're unlocking it and you're seeing it. Appreciate it, please. Appreciate it. You just want to expand it so that you see both sides.
What's the best way to do that?
Just keep working. Just keep working. You may be a little overbalanced toward the quote negative, because we do deem that as important. You see what I'm saying? We do deem if something's going to happen to David important, whereas we have to deem that also something is not going to happen to David is also equally important. That David's going to laugh is also important. Okay, but we've been taught that. Oh, that's important. We want to warn him if he's going to be able to step in front of a car. Well, you warn him, he doesn't know. He still doesn't know. Yeah, and he will probably be so busy he step off in front of it and get hit by it anyway. So it's him that has to have the wake up. You see what I'm saying? So it's you're having the wake up. So you say, oh, okay. All right. I see. Okay. My aunt, who had spent many years in a mental institution, like, 30 years or something. And when she first got out, I was standing with her one day and she said, "They're coming." And she's looking out the window. And I said, "Who's coming?" She said, "Thousands of them. And they're saying, sex. Locked away for 30 years have we been. Okay. It's being filtered through. You see what I'm saying? They're coming. But not in liberation or any of that. But we know what they're coming for. That was a desire from within that filtered across the lines. Who knows what she saw coming? Okay. Kath, would you please? Would you? Thank you. So, it's, yes, but because there's so much stuff. That's why you have to learn to go beyond your own thoughts and become the space so that what you see is very clear. It's just very clear. So that there's you don't have to interpret, you don't have to do anything, you just see it. Sometimes, even when you see it very clearly, you don't know what it means. You don't know. You won't know sometimes until that moment. And you see it, okay, and that's enough time to know. It's enough time to know. So yes, many people in mental institutions are there because they have bleed-overs. And they, quote, hallucinate. But are they really? Are they really seeing something? But through filtering it through all this? But you can't tell them that. See, in order to get them to come back, you've got to tell them, no. No. There is no elephant coming through the wall. There is no elephant coming through the wall. You've got to get them stable before you can begin to let them really know what the truth is. Very interesting. I had a person that I worked with for years who had begun taking acid at like 9, 10 years old. So that's very young to be taking something like that. And had some real weird experiences what finally had to happen, I had to not talk to them about these things. Till finally they got on some medication, I forget what it is, one of those new meds that takes enough of the craziness away so that you have a foundation. And the people that work with him say, well, do they still speak to you? Of course not. What are you, crazy? And he calls me and says, hey, they said so and so and so and so. And I say, yeah. All right. Is it now stable in order to deal with it in the right way? But he knows better than to say anything there. So that says that he's stable enough to really kind of straighten it up and get it right. Because what happens is we pick up the vibration. From the vibration, within the vibration, or the vibration itself, is a message. The vibration itself, a voice pattern, is a vibration. And when it hits your ear, you hear what is being said. Right? These are vibrations. And when it hits that inner organ, that inner self, it's just like speech. It is a message. People say, how do you know all this stuff? Because I listen to that. And it tells me. Well, is that what you are? No. Not at that level. I'm an even more subtle something that is a vibration, but yet so far removed, or so high up on the vibratory frequency that it is no longer recognizable as what you call vibration. Well, what is it? I don't know. You have to be there. Okay, now. Get the Tibetans have really mastered the art of vibration. Not every Tibetan, please. Some guy walking down the street from Tibet is probably just some guy walking down the street from Tibet who is like some guy walking down the street from America, okay? Don't confuse, see. But those in monasteries who use the bowls, the crystals a lot, the sounds. What it is about the vibration. And when they use those, if you allow those to hit your body, you will begin to understand vibration. It'll begin to change your body. They know what they're doing. It's like, I don't know, they had him come through America and play on the, not Arthur Godfrey, what was that guy's name? The big shoe guy, Arthur Sullivan. What's his name? Ed Sullivan, not Red Sullivan. Oh, Ed Sullivan, yeah.
Oh, it's a really big shoe.
Yeah. And everybody went, oh, how wonderful. And they went, sitting there, oh, very nice. They didn't get it, okay? But you began to feel these things, but only by experiencing with the vibration. only by experiencing with the vibration. One of the things that you learn, if you will recall, I said that when it hits a point of tension, it will hurt until you let go. Okay? So a lot of times when it's in your neck and stuff and it'll hurt, you have to begin to let go. It tells you you're breathing incorrectly. Because when we breathe incorrectly here, we usually tense up here. Okay? I don't know why. It's like we have to get those neck muscles strong so you can suck in that air. I don't know what that means, you know. But you have to learn what it's saying, and as you do that, and you'll begin to notice various things happening with your body. But you have to be focused on those things. You have to pay attention. And this is important. This is where that whole discipline thing comes back. You know, you have to know why you're there. Why am I sitting here? I'm going to heaven. Well, where is heaven? I don't know. Never been to heaven, but I've been to Oklahoma. I forget, what's the name of that song? Well, I've never been to heaven, but I've been to Oklahoma. Anyway. Huh? Is it California? I don't know. Same thing. Oklahoma, California, what the hell. You want to recall that I said, I can't show you what it is, but I can show you what it isn't. So I'm saying, as you feel that, and you let go, something wonderful happens. And then you begin to say, oh, I've been doing this all my life. I didn't know that was tension. And when you let go and the energy flows, it's like, wow, there's this really neat space. There's not so much talk in this space. Wow, it's really quiet in here. This is neat. This is a vacation. This is Jamaica. This is the Bahamas. Wow, man. This is the French Riviera right here. So someone says, let's go to Paris. And you say, why? I'm already in Paris. I'm fine. We need a vacation. We do. Okay, I'm already on vacation. The feeling. Restoring the vibrational frequency to your body, or the integrity of your body. Restore the integrity of your body. Now, some of you got things missing. You can't restore that. You have to accept it. You know, they took out your gallbladder. It's going to be gone. Okay? You can't restore that. Okay? Let it go. That's going to be there. You learn true acceptance. True acceptance. Not tolerate, not to tolerate, or toleration. Toleration means, well, I don't like it, but okay. Acceptance is not a matter of liking or disliking. It's what is, and you accept it. It is life. You accept life. You don't tolerate life. You tolerate life and you will explode. You accept life. That's what it is. Wisdom does not come from a perfect world or a flawless world. The world is perfect to learn to become wise. It has all the conditions that make wisdom. It has all the things that it is not. And that's what makes you wise. Okay? I say that I know foolishness because I've been probably the biggest fool on the planet. You can't fool me with foolishness. I may not say anything, but I'm looking at you. Been there, done that. It's all right. It will be okay, my child. Say 14 Hail Marys and pray. But I could say, just cut that crap out and grow up. I could say that. But being wise. Having been there. Look, it's real simple. I accept the conditions that are there. Now, the conditions that are there have nothing to do with me unless I make them have something to do with me. And if I'm going to participate in it, then shut up and participate. Don't complain. If I'm going to participate in jerkitude, have fun. But then, when your arm is chopped off, don't complain about it. Well, didn't you know that? That was the nature of that? You spend your time learning to be a knife fighter. And get upset when you get something chopped off. Well, that's the nature of knife fighting. It's like a man boxing. And then complaining because he gets... Did you hear that bell? To shake your brain around inside a skull box, a bone box, kind of does that to your brain, you know? You know, what did you think? That you were tough and that you could take it? Well, taking it is what makes you go, duh. It's not taking it. It's learning how to get out of the way. So, whatever you become involved with, you must understand its nature. It's really as simple as that. That is acceptance. Oh, I accept. You know, you can always decide to do something else. But you accept this, whatever this thing is, for its inherent qualities. You don't get angry about it. I mean, would you get angry with an alligator if you were wading in the swamp full of alligators and it bit your leg off? Why? It's an alligator. You know it's an alligator. If you're going to get angry, you get angry for the stupidity that took you wading in a swamp full of alligators. Everybody was very hostile toward alligators in Florida. Oh, when they were out showing, wow, in our pond back here behind our house, we have alligators. See the wonderful wildlife, and then the gators ate a child. Plus the child was down at the pond saying, see the alligator. Alligator was saying, lunch. Yeah. And that was one of the things. They were out back behind their house, and they would feed chickens to the alligators. Because they wanted, yeah, right behind the house. Well, why did you move there? Did you know alligators? You know, they're not like puppy dogs. Little different. Slightly different view of humanity than puppy dogs. Why get upset with a gator? That's its nature. You don't live next door to alligators. Okay? That is accepting the reality of the conditions of life. And it's really that simple. Then you make discriminating choices, not based on foolishness, but on reality. Acceptance of the truth of life. Discrimination in, I see this truth, thank you very much, but no thank you. That's simple. So, when it comes to the vibration, it's going to make you feel differently. But if you want it to stay the same, you can't go on this trip. Because going on the trip tells you that you can't be the same. You can't be the same and be different. So you have to decide, okay, I accept this vibration. What does it say? Oh. Okay. I began to accept other vibrations other than this coarse discrimination. Yes, I'm discriminating between this happening in my body and something else. But let me go. Let me find out. Let me find out what's happening. So the Tibetans have, through years of manipulating this and sitting around going, ooh, let's get rid of that one because that one makes you do this. Okay, let's keep this one. Oh, okay, yeah, wow, okay, we changed this vibration here. And a dedication to doing that. So here we are. Again, the decision. What is it you want to do? You want to be the same? Or do you want to find something else out? Go. Be happy. Be happy. Be in joy. Let learning be the process. I saw the end of something. I don't know. I see these things, but I got to see 14 different things at the same time. I don't understand why everybody can't do that. Why you can't watch 8 or 10 different shows. You know, I do. Because they really aren't that complicated, you know. They really aren't real complicated to understand. Okay. But this boy and this girl, they were coming together, and he says, aren't you afraid? And she said, well, yeah. He says, I don't know what's out there. This light was shining down on him. And she said, yeah, but that's the fun. That's the mystery. That's the mystery. It was the Witch of Witch Mountain, or Yeah, whatever that was. That's what it was about. We want to know before we know, so we want to be comfortable when we walk in. Well, you can't be. It's called stagnation. I walk into the most wondrous thing and go, yes, I know what that is. But you know, you have to loosen up and you have to feel the vibration. Within the vibration is the message, and then you become the vibration. It is the ancient religious purpose to elevate Satan or Seth or Form or Michael to the level of God, which means to bring it away from the coarser vibrational frequency and let those finer frequencies vibrate freely throughout your entire being, and thereby raise Satan or Seth to the level of godliness. That's what it meant. We got a whole bunch of other stuff that we gonna go to heaven, you know. The word heaven from the word leaven, to rise. We spend most of our time being unleavened, being heavy. We want to rise, to bring Satan to rise to the higher vibrational frequency. You aren't going anywhere. Rise, I'm going to rise up above the clouds. That's why? Why is above the cloud more holy than below the cloud? I don't know. We're here. We are going to holy ground. I don't know any that's not holy. I'm going to India in search of my spirit. Did you lose it there? Were you there before and you lost your spirit? What? Which is your spirit like a nickel you can lose? I think it's right here where you are. All is right here. All is right here. Now what it is we have to do what it takes to manifest, to bring from the unmanifested into the manifested. You have Qigong, Nikong, whatever all those words are. What do you practice? Qigong? Okay. Qigong. Okay, let's take that one. Okay. Somebody will come from over here and say, well, you know about Nikong. Wow. It is there to change the vibrational frequency of your being. You know, you practice and you get hot. Why do you get hot? Because the finer vibrational frequencies go and create heat. Qi. Life's force. Oh, I'm alive. Wow. Ooh, yeah. You have to change that which is basic to your form. And to do that, you have to practice. Remember your chit form? It's just a variation of Qi Nigong. So, I got it in India. Well, the Indians were saying, oh, wow, they just find out what happens over here. So they did it that way, and these guys over here did it this way. And I said, well, oh, yeah. And both of them are going, wow, ooh, that feels good. And these guys are saying they're doing it wrong. These guys are saying they're doing it wrong. Well, how do you feel, guys? Feel good. The idea is to change the vibrational frequency. What happens tells you if you're doing it right. When you go, just burst out in this laugh because this rises and fills your body, and you laugh because it just feels good. You're doing it right. We can do Chinese yoga. We don't need to do Indian yoga. It's beneath us. Well, that stuff is beneath us. Well, seems to me there was a guy who crossed the Alps, crossed the mountains from India to China, and who got to the monasteries there, and there were all these monks, all withered up and stuff, and everybody just coming by. The monks would spend a year farming, and then everybody would just come by and say, you know, give me those grapes, man. That way. This, oh no. Oh no. We got to do something. Yeah. And that's what they would do. They would hang around outside the monastery and party all year until the crops came in. And go in and take it. I said, no, I think we will. We're going to design some exercises here for you that will make you feel better. And not only will they make you feel better, but if you apply them, they'll stop those guys from doing what they're doing. So here are the Indians, and here are the Chinese. Comparing whose yoga is the best when they came from the same source. So, whoop-de-doo. Do your work. Don't just do it. Be an observer to your own process. This is where you learn. You learn by doing it. You learn, this ain't it, that ain't it. Where is it? Oh, this is it. Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah. But that's how you learn. So again, we're back at that bad word. Discipline. Discipline. You know, I'm a disciple of okay. How discipled are you? How disciplined are you? That's what it is. So it's to change the vibrational frequency. You do that by feeling vibration and relaxing. Feeling it and relaxing. And the more you relax, the more you become aware of there are more and more subtle vibrations. And you begin to relate to those vibrations. Start to smile. And you begin to relate to them. And then you begin to control the facial expressions so that the energy is all used in one direction. So you just have this kind of look in your eye. People say, oh, There's a glint in her eye. Very nice person. The energy is no longer used in blah, 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 blah. It's now going toward what it was designed to do. Because you've learned about silence and speaking. You've learned about conservation of movement. And all then goes toward the leavening of your being. That's all there is to it. Then you become in the world, but not of it. You have this perpetual little smile. It's like people say. I was walking down the street one day, and this guy stops me. He said, he was stoned out of his mind. He said, "You know something." I said, "What is it I know?" He said, "You know." And then he staggered on off. You know something. Yeah, there's that little thing that's there. It's yours. Practice. Continue with those 4 things, or 2 things. 4 things, 2 things. Continue. Learn as much as you can. Listen. Listen to the sounds. See what they do. Learn about vibration. And then become discriminating. You won't be real quick to be real social anymore, I'll tell you that. It's kind of like I don't want to do that. Are you antisocial? No. Yeah. I think I hear my mommy calling me. I gotta go now. That's the way it is. All have the potential to be equal. But the actualization is another thing. Doesn't mean you look down on anyone. You look at people straight across and you look with the greatest compassion in your heart. Compassion is that feeling. And you get that feeling and you say, I have to go now. They ask a question. You, of course, answer the question. And you look at them and they say, I understand that, but I believe. And you say, gotta go now.
See you later.
Gotta go now. Bye. Without animosity or anything, it's like you look at your child and you go, I'm going to enjoy your childhood because when you grow up, I hope I'm dead. Because I don't want to be anywhere near all this crap. And you love the child. You love them and you go, well, gotta go now. Or better yet, don't you want to go out and play? How about in the street? enjoy. Thank you.